Back with Frank Broyles. We're going to talk about Frank Broyles, the coach now here on CSN. And Coach, tell everybody exactly how you got interested in coaching.
Well, I was a quarterback and calling plays, and it's kind of, they called me, the papers called me a coach on the field. The coach couldn't even send in a play. If a substitute went into the game, he had to stay outside the huddle until the play was called. And I mean, the referee would go in with him when he went into the huddle so that he couldn't tell you anything. So I developed a reputation and Coach Dodd gave me quite a compliment when he called me when I was a junior. He said that I was like having a coach on the field, that I could call the plays just like he wanted to be called. And so that kind of got me started in wanting to be a coach. And I had a chance to go play pro basketball with St. Louis. And I debated that and signed the contract with them. But when I did, Bob Woodruff had left Georgia Tech as the line coach, had the kid job at Baylor, and he heard that I was not going to come back. I had 2 years eligibility left because I was in a Navy uniform and didn't count against me in 2 of my years. And so when he heard that I was going to play pro football, he called me and said, "You don't need to play pro football. I want you to be my backfield coach." I said, "You mean your freshman coach?" He said, "No, my backfield coach. I can hire one coach. It's going to be you. I'm going to coach the line, and you're going to coach the backfield, but I'm going to up your age to 26. I was 22.
Oh.
So I went out there as a 26-year-old, and all the players on the team, many of them had been in service days right after the war, and they were older than me. And they kept saying, "You're not 26. I'm older than you are." They laughed, you know, and say, "I'm coached by a guy younger than me."
Oh, boy. Tell us how you got your first head coaching job at Missouri.
Well, I was so flattered that to get that job, Don Farrow was athletic director, and he was stepping down. And he knew that I'd met Don Farrow at some coaching clinics, and he had said, "Someday you're going to be a head coach." And he called me when he said he's going to step down and retire. He said, "I'd like for you to come and take my place." And I said, "You're kidding." And he said, "No, I want you to come back and be the head coach." And I said, "Well, I'll be there." And I was flattered that he came, and I enjoyed my year at Missouri and would have stayed there if it hadn't been for Arkansas. But I became a Razorback fan and wanted this job in 1948. We came up here from Baylor. I was a coach, backfield coach at Baylor. We came up here and played the Razorbacks on a Saturday, and I had never seen such enthusiasm and fan support anywhere else in the Southwest Conference. And I said to myself, someday I want to be the coach at Arkansas. And that was in 1948, and in 1958 I got the head job at Arkansas.
And tell us about that famous call. You got a call one night?
I got a call. I was the head coach at Missouri, and I couldn't apply for the job because that wouldn't be ethically correct, even though it was the job I'd always wanted even before the Missouri. And so I remember, I told in my speeches, it was on Saturday, December the 7th, at 11:30 and 20 seconds after the clock. That's how important the time. And he called, the call went like this: "Hello, Frank, this is Barney." I said, "What in the heck have you been waiting on?" I screamed back, and he said, "Well, I've been getting all the ducks on the pond." I said, "Well, where are they?" He said, "They're all swimming." I said, "I'll be there tomorrow." And that's what happened.
How about you really built the program, doing a great job at Arkansas for several years there. In those early days when you coached the Razorbacks, who were some of the athletes that you felt like really rose to the occasion?
Well, I don't like to pinpoint any of them in particular, but what we had, I had a class. What really made the difference was in my freshman year, my first year here, we lost 6 games, and the players stayed with me, and we got better and better, and we won the last 4. Then we won 3 championships in a row.
Wow!
And nearly won the 4th one. Texas beat us in the last second. It's the only game we lost, though we'd had 4 championships in a row. But the players, I'm so grateful for that 58 team that stayed with me, even though I did a poor job of coaching, when I made a terrible mistake. I came in and changed my offense and went to an offense that one of the pro teams was using and tried to put it in, and we didn't make a first down in the first game. I came home and worked with my coaches all Saturday night, all day Sunday, and put in my old offense, and we finally won the last 4 ball games and then won 3 straight championships.
Well, Coach, you had an outstanding record at Arkansas in 19 seasons, 144, 58, and 5. And you were known as a great defensive mind. I remember years ago, I believe in the early 60s, that you never hardly lost a game in November.
Yeah, we did this. We had a saying on our team, people remember what you do in November. We're going to be better in November than any part of the year. We're going to work to where when we get to the 1st of November, we're going to be the best team we could possibly be until the 4th game. We're going to be even better. Right. And so we planned for November. I always said, people remember what you do. If we won the November games, I keep my job. If you lost in November, you get fired. So we went, I think the record was something like 37-3 in November in my career here, up until maybe 1 year. 5. I don't think we lost over 5 games in 19 years in November. We were ready for November because our defense wasn't going to let them score. And I had a philosophy is you don't win, you lose games. The other team's going to lose if you let them. If you don't lose it, they're going to lose it to you. Mistakes going to cost you the game. So we eliminated mistakes. We hold it. Team makes fewer mistakes, going to win. And we'd go a full season and never be offside. You know why? We had 1 snap count.
1 snap count. Wow.
I said, why do we need 3 snap counts and jump off sides and the teams get it? So we're going to have 1 snap count where we're going to beat them off the count, and we're never going to be offside. And I take pride, and we were never offside. And it was a year or 2, maybe 1, I don't know. But basically, we would not have an offside penalty on offense for the season. 1 snap count on every game.
Wow. Now,
only coaches have done it, I know.
Now, let's talk about that big rivalry, the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, my gosh. The Longhorn game was the biggest game for us, the biggest game for A&M, the biggest game for Baylor. Everybody hated the Longhorns. They had so much success, and they enjoyed talking about it. The Texas fans and all were just hard to take if you didn't like it, if you were an opponent. So the Texas game is what you planned for, you worked for, and when you could win that game, I used to have fans tell me, Coach, if you beat Texas, I don't care if you lost the other 10 games. If you beat Texas, I didn't agree with that.
We've heard that.
Yeah, but I heard that often.
1964 national championship. What were your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that team as we talk today?
We had great leadership on the team. We had a defensive team that had come together, and if I'm correct, I think I am, the last 5 teams didn't score a point. 0. And the last 4 or 5 teams did not get a point. But our defense was so outstanding that offensively we could just wait till the defense got us the ball in position to score. And I'll never forget shutting out the last 4 teams that we played, the last 5, I think.
Wow.
Didn't get a point.
Now, you made 10 appearances in bowl games at the end of the season. What's the one bowl game that really continues to be with you today that you remember?
Beat Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl for the championship. We knew that if we won, we'd have a chance to be national champions, and sure enough, Alabama lost in the Orange Bowl that night, and we were made national champions. And the team was so deserving of it. They were a tremendous group of young men that worked hard and had a great team philosophy. And I don't think we had over 3 or 4 turnovers in the season. Wow. And the last 5 teams didn't score a point.
22 in a row. I don't think that will ever happen again at Arkansas.
Well, it's hard to happen anywhere because there's so much balance around the country. But we had a group of young men that just wouldn't lose. And we had a philosophy that when we get down the goal line, we're going to score, and we're not going to give up the fumbles. And if they're going to beat us, they're going to have to go 70 yards to beat us. And so we won a lot of games on defense.
What did it mean to, in the old Southwest Conference, to win 6 titles?
Well, it was great to win because winning is what they used to say. The fans don't come to see you play; they come to see you win. And there's a major difference, a major difference. But we had a great record going, and our fans were directly responsible. The fan base grew tremendously. We expanded our stadium. We had sellout crowds. And the players from the other team would say, coming to play in Fayetteville or Little Rock was a 2-touchdown advantage because of the fan base. The other teams didn't have about 2,000 seats, and the other 50,000 were hog-calling, raising, shouting fans. And they were a major factor in our success.
I know that a lot of people, and over the years you've mentioned that one of your good friends is Darrell Royal, who used to coach the Texas Longhorns. How close of a friends were you, especially after
Darrell
coaching?
and I, strangely enough, we're probably the only 2 coaches that vacationed together, and we were arch rivals. He had a place of alumni down in Mexico, and Barbara and I would go down with he and Edith. Edith, his wife, and Barbara loved to shop, and they would shop all day. They didn't buy anything, but they would shop all day. They loved that, and Darrell and I go play golf all day. So each summer, I would spend about 4 days in Mexico with Darrell, and we never, here's one thing, we were friends for all that time. We never spent 1 second talking about our game.
That is fantastic.
Never talked about the game that we had played.
Now, you retired after the Texas-Arkansas game in 1976.
So did Darrell.
Did you, in later years, say, I wish I would have coached a little bit longer?
No. I had a fabulous career coaching. Georgia Tech as assistant coach and all, and at Baylor's assistant coach and head coach at Missouri. I had a fabulous career. I was ready to step aside, and I had heard and read where if you stay in coaching past 50, you're going to die in the coaching profession, and you're going to get fired sooner or later. Wow. So I wanted to quit while we were still on top.
When we return in just a moment, we will talk to Coach Frank Broyles about the days when he was athletic director at the University of Arkansas, and also talk about later honors and awards that the coach has received over the years, right after these words on CSN TV.